Well, we are back to football, and tomorrow is going to be a late night kickoff at Old Trafford as Manchester United hosts the side known as Newcastle. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rock and David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're already watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rock and David is my name, and here we come after being beaten by Man City at Old Trafford by 3 goals to in the Premier League. We are yet to return in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup as we take on a side called Newcastle. Eddie Howe's side is going to travel to Newcastle, and the last time they played at Old Trafford, they forced a 0-0 draw against Manchester United. The last time we played them, it was all about the Carabao Cup final, and it ended 2-0 in favor of Manchester United. And when we played them at their home, they beat us by 2 goals to 0, and that's how we fared last season, meaning that we beat them once, they beat us once, and we drew once. But it's like a rendition or another rendition of the Carabao Cup finale that was played at Wembley. They are coming to Old Trafford to play into the Carabao Cup. We thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims Barakallahu Fikum, and we're here to obviously get to where we deserve to be. Now, who is out and who is in? For Manchester United, Casemiro was not 100% fit, and the manager really decided not to obviously put him in the game of Man City. He wasn't even part of the squad. But Sergio Reguilon and Rafael Varane, whose fitness was doubted, or whose fitness Erik ten Hag had concern about, never featured in the starting 11. And Reguilon came on through with Rafael Varane playing a single minute. Obviously, are also ready to take on the side of Newcastle tomorrow. So, those that you don't expect into this team: Luke Shaw is out, Amad Diallo is back on the grass, Terrell Malacia is also back on the grass, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he might shock us with a return, by the way, in this game. Then Jadon Sancho is out for the suspension. He's still serving the suspension. And Lisandro Martinez is out with a metatarsal. That is it. Kobe Menu is also expected to be part of the team that is obviously going to play against the side of Newcastle at Old Trafford. When you look at Newcastle, they're having Sandro Tonali out. He was banned for 10 months, meaning that his season is over. Harvey Barnes is having an ankle injury. Elliot Anderson is having a back injury. Jacob Murphy is having a shoulder injury. Lewis Mhili is having an illness. And Ishak is having a groin injury. And Steve Botman is having a knee problem. That is it. So, that is it. And Howe could place his trust in people like Tino Livramento, Mark Target, and Joe Willock, who return from injury. That is it. So that is how it's obviously going to feature. And on the weekend, Newcastle drew 2-2 with Wolverhampton Wanderers as United got beaten by the side of Manchester City by 3 goals to 0. Now, that takes us into the predicted starting 11 of Man United as they take on the side of Manchester City. Not so? I think that's where we go right about now. And the system is 4-2-3-1. That is the system that Erik ten Hag is going to hate to adapt at Man United, and he does it day in, day out. Now, the first thought, people will think that Ben Daly is going to be in goal, with Andre Onana picking up form and really saving us from a massacre at Old Trafford in those one-on-ones versus Erling Haaland. He's going to be given a start to obviously continue getting to where he deserves to be. If Erik ten Hag never gave Ben Daly to play against Crystal Palace, then there is no way he's going to give him to play against the Newcastle side. So it's going to be Andre Onana in between the stitches. Then we go to the right back. I think it's going to be Diogo Dalot. Diogo Dalot is going to be played as a right back for the club of Man United, and you never know how Aaron Bissaka will feature in there for you, and Dalot's going to hate to play 90 minutes a lot. So if Bissaka makes to the bench, then Dalot might find himself in a situation of playing some 45 minutes, and then Bissaka will get us some 45. On the left back, came in and played 15 minutes against Man City. That is Hagi Roglan is obviously going to come in and feature at the left back of Manchester United. And the right-sided centre-back, I think it's going to be Rafael Varane on the right-side centre-back. He played as a left-back, but he showed us that he's not meant for that. He's not meant for that. Then Harry Maguire, I believe, is going to get a spot into the team. I think Rafael Varane is going to be rested, and he might come on through and play some 15 minutes, and he has some 2 assignments to do against Fulham over the weekend, and in the midweek next week against Copenhagen. It's going to be, I think, on Wednesday. Not so? That's when he's obviously going to feature. So Erik ten Hag knows how important those games are, and that's why you see that he's playing him reservingly and resting him for those games, because he knows that those are the most important games of the season as far as all this is really concerned. We go to the midfield. I believe that Casemiro is returning. Casemiro is returning, according to what my mindset is telling me. Casemiro is returning in the midfield, and alongside who? Alongside Sofian Amrabat. Erik ten Hag wants to see this double pivot work, and he is going to do all what it takes to see that this double pivot obviously gives him results. Then we go to the central attacking midfield. I think it's going to be Mason Mount playing to that position, meaning that Bruno Fernandes is obviously going to be rested. On the right attacking side of the midfield, I think Pelestri really deserves a go into this side. He deserves a go to play part into this game. Then left forward or left attacking midfielder, Alejandro Garnacho, a man who has always gone ahead to come on and make things happen, deserves a start into this game of football. And I would obviously go for him to start over the weekend if at all he puts in a very good performance. Leading the line, it's not Rasmus Højlund, it's going to be Anthony Martial. Now, when you look at the team, there are going to be some huge changes made, because in the game against Manchester City, Sergio Roglo never started, Casemiro never started, Mason Mount never started, Facundo Pelestri never started, Alejandro Garnacho never started, Anton Martial never started, meaning that those are going to be 6 changes made by Erik ten Hag to take on the side of Newcastle at the Old Trafford. Now, when you look at Newcastle, as we see who is going to be battling for, Diego Dalot is obviously going to be facing Anton Gordon on the left. Then Sergio Roglan is going to be facing Miguel Almiron, another huge battle. Harry Maguire and Lindelof, they are going to face off with Callum Wilson. That is it, who is going to lead the line because Alexander Isak is really out. Then Mason Mount, Amrabat, and Casemiro are obviously going to be facing Joe Wellington, Murphy, and Bruno Guimaraes. That is it. Then Facundo Pelestri is going to face Ban on the left side. Then Alejandro Garnacho is going to face Kylian Trippier, and Anton Martial is going to face Shea and the other central defender. That is, those are the battles we anticipate in this game of football. But Newcastle comes into this fixture with lots and lots of revenge motives, or revenge whys and therefores. But for Erik ten Hag, he wants to win this game. He wants to win this game because the moment he really wins this game, it eases the pressure of him. That is it. He wins this game, no one is going to remember that Man City beat us. So all what he needs to do is that he needs to win this game at Old Trafford. Remember, this season at Old Trafford, we're going to have to lose very many games. We lost against Brighton, we lost against Crystal Palace, we lost against Galatasaray, and we're going to have to lose against against Man City. And we just don't want to see ourselves really destroying the fortress at Old Trafford. Remember last season, we only lost one game at Old Trafford and we lost to Brighton. That is it. But this time round, things are not going on as planned for the manager, and he needs to obviously turn everything around. Amidst the board having everything around him, obviously, he needs to obviously get the things right. Don't be shocked tomorrow when you see to it that you're playing some good football. That is it. Do you know why? These players that are obviously going to be given a chance to start are really good. And they are press resistant. They are going to get us a good result. And I think you're winning this game of football by like 3-1. I believe Newcastle is going to bring in players who don't have fresh legs. These players featured against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and for Erik ten Hag is going to make close to 6 changes into the team, and we're going to be having a very strong bench. You know, Rashford on the bench, Bruno Fernandes on the bench, Varane on the bench, Rasmus Højlund on the bench, Eriksson on the bench. So our bench is obviously going to be very strong. So it's all about this team coming in through and getting the job done. If they don't get the job done, then we will see how things really pan out for Erik ten Hag. But I think it's all written all over as a win of Man United, because these players are obviously coming to prove a point to the manager that we are really the players supposed to be starting. Players like Anton Martial need to obviously knock onto that door and tell Erik ten Hag, all right, Rasmus Højlund is good, you love him, but in 7 Premier League matches, he hasn't scored a single goal, right? And is getting chances, right? So why don't you bench him and really give me a go to start? That should be another question raised. Alejandro Garnacho is another one who, whenever he comes on the field of play, he makes things happen, and Erik ten Hag does not obviously pick him regularly. So he's another man to obviously raise concern onto this ongoing stuff. So lots of things are obviously going to be really seen in this game of football as we really anticipate the return of Amad Diallo, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Tyrell Malacia. I think if those 3 can be back, then at least this club is going to be performing a little bit better, because you'll be knowing that you are having a backup left back in Tyrell Malacia competing with Sergio Reguilón, Aaron Wan-Bissaka competing with Diego Dallo. You get? So their return is going to give us a lot. Amad Diallo is going to give us creativity off the right attacking side of the midfield, because he has a lot more to offer to the club of Man United than what Anthony does. Trust me, if we continue to be using one outlet, that of Rashford, we are obviously going to be shite at obviously scoring our chances. But the more we continue to see to it that we give people like Amad Diallo chance to create another outlet of the right attacking side of the midfield, then that will give us more chances to obviously face what we call our opponents and really create or put a lot of danger into their face. But when you look at the team, we are not creating, we are not threatening enough. That is it. You know, you need to be having players who can create something or nothing out of nothing. And Amad Diallo is one of them. Imagine, even if they don't start, but you see Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho being brought on at once. What Alejandro Garnacho does on the left is what Amad Diallo is going to give you on the right, meaning that you'll be creating a situation of trouble for the opponent. And remember, in those last 30-20 minutes, the opponents are really tired, and these players are really ultra fast. They are lightning quick, and they can cause lots of things to happen. So my prediction is 3-1 in favor of Man United, and I think we are going to knock out Newcastle. But also, I don't undermine Newcastle. Newcastle is really a very good team that can also come at Trafford and really give us a shocking result. But I believe with the bench you're going to be having, things can be turned around in a nick of time. May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rock and Dave remains my name. Your predictions are welcome in the comment section below. Who do you add? Who do you get out of that team that I'm going to hate to give you, that I think Ten Hag is going to bring on to face Newcastle at Old Trafford tomorrow? All that and more, I wait in the comments. Your predictions are also welcome. See you later.